Nelson County family, welcome to the Community Brew Live this Friday morning. We are so excited that you are here, and we have a very special panel put together for you guys this morning. We are talking all about family communication as we head back into school on September 28th. And so we wanted to get some diverse a nice diverse mix of people here on our panel this morning. So we have Miss Tiffany Clark, principal at New Haven. We have Miss Libby Harbin. She is one of our energizers and teachers at Thomas Nelson High School. We have Dylan Beasley, who is also an energizer and a teacher at Nelson County High School. And we have a special guest, Mr. Damon Jackie, who is a parent and also one of our Impossible board members. So welcome to our panel. I did ask a couple of our creative team members this morning to join us in this conversation around family communication. So we have our lead videographer, Mariah Beasley. She is our family communications coordinator. And we have Cash Ruiz. She is our lead graphic designer and our business communications coordinator. So we are all about this conversation around family communication. How are we communicating? What our families need to hear, simplifying this, and really just trying to make sure that our community and families stay informed during this, interesting time we are living in. Hashtag 2020. So we are going to kick off this conversation with a question. And if you guys are out there watching in the panel, we definitely, or in the YouTube live chat, we definitely want to hear from you guys too. Chime in with your feedback conversations. We can definitely bring that up in our live video thing here. There you go. Okay. So first question, you guys. What are powerful examples of communication with our families? So let's talk about it. What are we doing out there? What's working? What are you seeing?
So I'll start out. A big piece for us was consistency and transparency. We want our families to know everything that's going on, all the planning that's taking place with our teachers, and the experiences that we're creating for our kiddos. So one of the biggest pieces for us was a weekly communication tool that was easily accessible and very consistent and in a timely manner. So our number one thing was that link through a text message. Again, I'm a principal and a parent within our district, so it means a lot to me to be able to get to it really fast and have a place to go back to. So for us, that was the number one thing for us to think through around communication with our families.
Something that I thought was really cool was just a few weeks ago, for the first time to my knowledge, at least since I've been here, all of the schools communicated with their families at the same time. And then the families also heard from the district. They got text messages, emails, video communication, and all of us just working collectively together as a unit in the district, I think is so cool. And just keeping that transparency, I think, is awesome. And I'm just really excited about where we're moving forward with family communication.
So that's a good segue for our staff out there that is watching. One of the resources that we have started really utilizing in this conversation around family communication is the Energy Backpack. So while I'm talking, Tiffany, if you don't care to present your screen and hop into theenergybackpack.com. So for our staff out there, this is a really nice one-stop shop just to kind of have some resources and things like that. And there's a million things on this site that, we're not going to spend a ton of time on talking about this morning, but we definitely wanted to drive our community to this website because this is kind of our hub. So just like Mariah said a second ago, the energizers, so Libby and Dylan, we have one energizer at all of our schools. Go ahead and click that, Tiffany. This Energizer Ignite is really how we're trying to streamline our communication across our schools, because we recognize that our families don't just have a student at one school. They probably have several students at several schools. And so we want to make sure that, their information that they're receiving is consistent and it's clear and it's simple. And I know, Libby, you've got a couple of kids at a few different schools. You want to kind of talk about how that's working for you as a parent?
Absolutely. So I have two of my youngest at Foster Heights, and then my daughter is at OKH, and then of course I'm at Thomas Nelson. So I appreciate so much the whole less is more concept. Being a parent, being a teacher, I love that. Also, we keep the autonomy of each school. So each school has their own story to tell, and I love how that is still kept within the guidelines as far as how we reach out, but at the same time it's very clear and consistent across the board. I know, okay, Foster Heights, I get the message from them, I can click on it. It looks very similar to what I get from OKH and Thomas Nelson, but the branding, basically the story behind it, is that school's story and celebrating that school's community. And I just really appreciate that simplicity, and like I said, that hub to be able to always go back to. So it's been really awesome.
So Tiffany, thank you. You can stop screen sharing if you want, but this basically we just want to kind of overview this hub is really where our principals are sitting down with our lead energizers and our family caretakers and really kind of having a conversation to simplify that information, like Livy said. So thank you. Well, I'll give you a shout out, Tiffany, too. You and Christy are totally killing it down there at New Haven with, those anchors and thinking through what our families need to know. So shout out to y'all.
So I was going to lead kind of from that. So she talked about meeting with the Energizer. So weekly, Christy and I get together to really talk about what are the most important things we need to communicate with our families this week. We kind of sit through, we prioritize a couple of things, make sure that it's something that everybody needs to know. Look at our communication tools and see, is this the best way to go out? And then really for us, it's, again, being consistent and then working with the creative media team to really brand our story, to make it look real pretty and easily accessible so that people can get to our links and our websites and our forums each time the same place, and it all looking uniform across our school.
I just want to touch base on that as well, as far as the simplicity and the opportunity to collaborate with the principals. I work with Mr. Monette, and we come up with our weekly top 3. So we don't want to overwhelm families with a ton of info. So we had to evaluate like what's the most important info for this week, and then we write a little 1-2 sentence summary about why that's important for this week, and then the graphics are made by the graphic design team to make it look really nice with the energy backpack. So it works really well that way.
I have to give you and Mr. Monette a shout out too, just on the way that you're thinking about communication. I have received countless text messages from Mr. Monette where he's just really thinking about, okay, we've got this information flying out from athletics, this information flying out from, this beta club or, whatever. That was probably a bad example, but there's lots of information flying around at our families, and we're really trying to figure out where that's coming from, and then creating some systems to again simplify, just like Libby said, for our families. So definitely give a shout out to Nelson County High School for really kind of pushing the boundaries on what that looks like and making life a little bit easier for our families.
Yeah, I think a part of that is the one-stop shops that we're creating with the home bases for all the schools. And that's a great way to direct families to one place to get access to all this information. And speaking of sports, I know that we're getting the athletics home base that's working on that, which is going to be an awesome resource as well. So just having all these pieces of information streamlined to one-stop shops is something that's extremely important for our families.
Hey, Dylan, you want to present your screen and show our families the impossibleathletics.com? We haven't even really, that's actually, spoiler alert, our family was really hearing about that today. No, it's good. It's good. It's went out in a few things at a few different places, but we are definitely reminding and showcasing that this afternoon in our communications. Yeah. So
not bad.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you brought it up.
It is Friday.
It's yeah, it's good. It's good. Present your screen and show that off.
I'm just fired up about it.
We got a Community Brew exclusive.
That's right.
Hey.
All right, yeah, so I'm presenting it, right?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So whenever I was doing the weekly top 3 last week, one thing we wanted to do was to remind our families about that we're going to have athletics restarting and, come and support and buy tickets online. And then Brooke directed me to this home base here, which is going to be a really awesome resource for all and it's just welcome to impossibleathletics.com. And then for Nelson County High School, up here you can click on the ticket icon or the up top on the tab up there. And then it shows you the weekly schedule for the athletics for our school. And then if you want to buy tickets, you're able to click on links to buy tickets to the GoFan, because we're using GoFan. And you'll be able to purchase tickets for upcoming events. And this is going to be for every school in the district with their sporting events. It's a really awesome resource that I'm fired up about. I'm a football coach, so it's really awesome from the coaching perspective as well as the teacher perspective. If I want to, support teams, and maybe I want my family members to come, I'll say, hey, yeah, just go to the athletics home base, and you can get tickets from there. And so all the schools are on here, and it's a really cool resource.
So one of the really cool things I think about this site is the weekly schedules. So our student leadership directors are working on, so that banner that you saw across the top, those will be updated every single Monday morning for the upcoming week of athletic events. And so, this is again just a place where we're trying to streamline information so families don't have to, spend 45 minutes digging for something, and really give an opportunity for our families to go out and support our student leaders out there.
Hey, Dylan, when does that go live? Can you give us a hint?
Now?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Community Brew exclusive.
I know it's an exclusive. I love it. I mean, that's amazing work that you're doing there as a parent and even as a board member. I mean, I like to attend events, and it's to support the students, but it's also to support people like Matthew Reynolds, who has delicious pork chops that he grills. I'm all about the food, which, hey, time to plug LaRue County at Nelson County tonight. I've heard Matthew Reynolds is going to be grilling the pork chops. So we all need to go out there and support Coach Stockdale and Matthew Reynolds.
I have to pop in. She's not going to say this herself, but I have to give Cash a shout out too, because when you guys see these things like the site that Dylan just pulled up, and you see all of these things in front of you, that is Cash. She is one of the most talented human beings I've ever met in my life, and she brings these things in our head to life in so many different ways, and we are so grateful to have her. So she would never say that, so I'm just going to say it for her. She is our new addition to our team this year, and really focusing on how we're communicating internally. And so these teacher sites and these school home bases, the way those look, that is Miss Ruiz right there, live here on the Community Brew.
Thanks. I don't want to take all the credit, but still, it really is powerful to see, the energizers, the principals, and, the creative team, all working together to create this powerful form of communication. And I mean, we can see what a difference, it makes, just something so clear to families, and to keep things streamlined. And it's awesome to see, from our end, what's going on with the schools and how it's all running. I love it.
I know, Cash and I actually talk about that a lot, and just working with the Energizers has been so much fun. And Libby and Dylan and our whole group of Energizers, it has just been such a joy over the past 8 weeks or so to really be able to build relationships with our principals, with those Energizers, know what's going on in the school. It's just really made a big difference. So I literally, I love you guys. So let's move into this sort of second conversation. As we head back to school, September 28th, what's required as we think about the future and returning to schools in regard to family communication?
So I don't know, Brooke, you want me to jump in here with a few things? Sure. So first, I want to say you've been giving some love and gratitude out to Cash and the rest of the team. I've got to say it to you and your entire team. The work that you folks do is amazing, and your interns that you've got, your co-op students, oh, the work that they're doing as well. It from a parent perspective, it just makes me feel like I'm a whole lot more closer connected to the schools. So I appreciate it, especially in this very weird time, like you've said. Um, talking about it, being this weird, odd time, the thing that I believe has been most beneficial for me as a parent is that ability, one, like Tiffany and Libby both said, to see that consistency across ways of communication. Now, I've only got one in the school system right now at Nelson County High School, but it's being able to see it consistently across his teachers, his leaders, and what they're trying to share with us. So, if I were to go, and I know he doesn't have Dylan as one of his teachers, but if I were to go to Dylan's just to kind of see his Google site, it would be very familiar to me because it looks kind of similar to Coach Stockdale's and his other teachers that he's got there at Nelson County High School. So, one, huge kudos there for consistency, not only within the building, but across the district. I know Libby said she's got some at 2 different schools. That's got to make your life a whole lot easier there. So, I think that's a huge piece of this. But one thing that has also been very welcoming to me as a parent are the family table gatherings. I tell you, I've never felt like I was so welcomed into the Nelson County High School as being able to sit down and talk with Coach Stockdale, who is my son's Cardinal crew leader, and him taking the time to walk us through how the communication was going to occur, and him saying, here's the way you can touch base with me or touch base with the teachers. And the fact that in the past, it was usually that parent night, that student touch base night or whatever, but now we've got the opportunity to do it remotely through Google Meets or other methods, and that the teachers are just so willing to do that. I mean, I have to give a shout out to a teacher over at Foster Heights who I don't even have a kid there, but I understand Abby McCubbin's over there. Apparently, tremendous teacher. And I was talking with a parent of one of her students, and apparently, Miss McCubbin, she spent some time outside the normal school day setting up a Google Meet with this young little student just to talk with them and to kind of help settle some of their fears and their concerns. So, I think that says a lot about us trying different ways of communication during this very odd time in all of our lives. And one thing I have to say is I hope as we come back to school on the 28th, and there's going to be some of our students that are in person schools, some of them are still going to be virtual. I hope that we continue those approaches. I hope that's something that we've all learned from these past 6 to 9 months, is being able to think a little bit differently about how we communicate with our parents, especially those of us. I mean, like my wife, she works 3 counties over from here. So it's kind of hard for her to be able to meet with our son's teachers. Being able to have these Google Meet opportunities and teachers embracing them, that's huge from a parent perspective.
Well, and I have to hop in. You made me think as you were talking, Damon, that a few weeks ago, one of Tiffany's SBDM members, I had the opportunity to chat with on the phone from a parent perspective, and we were talking about communication, and she made the comment to me. She said, I love the videos. I love seeing things come to life, like through, digital media and videography. But she's like, I really need you to tell me, like, in words, the most important things I need to know. And, for me, like, I've got 2 kids too, and I could definitely relate to her. And so through this sort of energizer conversation with Christy and Tiffany and then her SBDM member, it really allowed for this opportunity for me to be able to sit down and talk to a parent at New Haven. And I'm here to tell you that is where the top 3 graphics was really born from, is that conversation with, I think it was Miss Hurst, maybe. Is that right? at New Haven. And so, it's just really powerful, this opportunity to talk about tensions and what our parents need. And, that's really kind of the last thing I wanted to touch on before we go off air today, is really just what are powerful ways for us to, communicate, to tell our I Heart NC story, and and give parents what they need to know, because we are here for it. We are here for you. We are listening, and it's one thing to feel attention, but we need to hear what that is so that we can improve. And for our families watching, like those top 3 graphics that are in your weekly MailChimp, it's an image. You tap it, save it to your camera roll. And that was literally Miss Hurst's idea that she had, that expressed to me. And then we met as a team and as an Energizer group. And then, it came to life a week and a half later. And so I'm really grateful, for our community who, can have those difficult conversations. You don't have to raise your hand, Damon. Take it away. You're muted, though.
I was just trying to be polite there, because something you just said made me think of something. So, we've got this amazing group of staff all across the district. I mean, I can only imagine each one of you that's in this screen today, you're putting in about 28 hours of work every day. Okay, do the math on that. I was a middle school math teacher. I know there are no 28 hours in the day, but all of you all have been amazing and creating these opportunities to be able to get the communication out to families. From a parent, and here's something that I want to take to heart, and I want us as parents to take to heart. We have a responsibility in this too. We have to be willing to reach out and take advantage of these forms of communication. One thing that I've done is, I've got a YouTube account and I subscribe to all the NC school YouTube streams. So every time there's something that gets posted, I get a notification on it. And that way, then I don't have to go and hunt and find it. I've got something set up that automagically, I like that word there, Brooke, automagically ends up telling me there's a new piece of information, a new piece of communication from our schools. And so that's something I think that's very important as parents that we need to do. We need to find these pieces of communication that each and every one of you are so willing to share for your students, for our children, and that we need to subscribe to those. And we need to put in the effort to make sure that we consume those pieces of information as well. So it's a two-way street. You guys are doing great jobs of condensing down lots of important things, like Dylan talked about, those top 3 things. You're doing great jobs of condensing that down. But then as parents, we do have a responsibility to go out there and consume this and not just sit by idly and wait for you to say, oh, by the way, did you see this piece of information? So I want to encourage, if there's any parents that are watching, make sure that you've subscribed to the Nelson County YouTube channel. Make sure that you get alerts. Make sure that you're engaged with Infinite Campus and have that on your phone so that you can make sure to, be an integral part of your child's schooling, like I try to do with mine. And then it also helps support each of you that are the classroom teacher, because you all need to have the huge pat on the back. You've each completed that step 1 of the 3 miracles for sanehood during this pandemic.
So I will also say this, just so like our families are aware, like I'm saying it live on YouTube, so it's, archived forever. But one of the things that we pay attention to on a daily basis is mobile friendly, like accessibility, because we recognize that not every family is going to sit down at a desktop computer and open up blah, blah, blah. So, our Google sites were designed with, mobile accessibility in mind. That's one of the reasons we send out text messages that links up to, these home bases that have that, to eliminate clicks and digging that our families have to find. So, just wanted to throw that out there, that like most of the design work that we do is definitely done with mobile devices in mind. So Cash, we got some fun stuff happening on YouTube. What's going on over there?
Yes. Okay. So I do want to say I have to shout out this comment. Kathleen Oler says we had a military family come in to OKH from Georgia, and after their second parent meeting, they said that this is the best school and district that they have ever been in. Oh my gosh. It's a lot to celebrate.
Yeah, it is. Like, I feel like we just need to end the stream right now on that note. I mean, goodness, thank you, Kathy, for sharing that with us. I mean, I know I'm a little biased, but I would have to agree that we are most definitely the best school district ever. So, anyway. All right, closing thoughts, you guys. We have 4 minutes. Powerful ways for us to tell our I Heart NC story with our community. What are your closing thoughts?
I just wanted to jump in really quick and say, honestly, Mr. Jackie was talking about, kind of how these conversations are going to continue. What I'm so excited about is our students leading these conversations. So just now when we tune off of here, we're going to start these community table meetings number 2. And it's really our students being at the head of the table here and bringing in these community partners and them telling their stories and them going through their own backpack sites. Mm-hmm. So I'm so excited for, how we have led the way, but now they're going to be leading us because they are the future. And I think that they are the future. So they'll be the ones sharing it. So I'm excited for that.
I agree with Libby completely. The fact that these kids are making their own backpack websites, we're doing Cardinal flight plans here, and that's the perfect answer, I think, because these kids, we asked them what's the best thing going on virtually right now for them, and that's one of our questions for the round 2 that we started last week, round 2 Cardinal Conversations, we're calling them. But everybody was saying their backpack websites. I mean, they're really excited about telling their story and communicating with everybody how they're going to, their gifts and how they're going to accomplish their goals and things like that. So it's really cool to see how that's going on.
I get to jump in as a parent this time on that too. So I have a kindergarten baby who we have just introduced her to her site. In my first conversation with her, and her teacher was like, "What do you want to do with this?" And she was like, "Barbie fashion." I was like, "You go, girl." She's like, "I need YouTube though." So like, we also learned through our Mustang Matters, which is our Care and Connect structure, that we don't have to teach our kids anything. Like, I got on with my girls the other day and they're like, "Hey, what about your site?" And one of them was like, "I've already added this and this and this." So then she sends me a how-to video to be able to push out to her peers because they're like, "We don't know how to do it." So she created the video. She sent it out to her group. And I think kindergarten through 8th grade, we're going to see some incredible things happen with our student sites, which is our leader showcases. So exciting stuff coming for us too.
Hey, and I want to echo what Tiffany's saying there. As a parent, I want my children to be challenged. I want them to be put in situations that they're a little bit uncomfortable with, but they have a chance for success. Because what that means then, whenever they move out of the house, that will make sure that they have successful opportunities, whether it's in college, the workforce, just in life. It's helping them build confidence. So them leading those conversations, while they may feel uncomfortable now, it will pay off later on.
Absolutely. And, going back to this conversation with Libby and Dylan and like our students creating, we're big fans of students as creators, no matter what their age are. And, we have 2 exciting additions that we are building every week on the Energy Backpack to really help facilitate this conversation of student gift showcases and to really empower our students to become creators. And that is Creative Studio with Cash and Media with Mariah. So on the energybackpack.com, you guys will be able to see these 2 places where Mariah is basically, our own little media YouTube star here in Nelson County, where she's helping our students through like how to do videos and, just like Mr. Jackie said earlier, we have Cameron Mason. He's a senior at Thomas Nelson, and he is one of our student workers. He's an illustrator, but he's actually working or going to be working with Mariah in the coming weeks on building and curating resources for our students to be able to help them create videos and to create digital media. Cash is really working on helping our students to and empowering them to become graphic designers. So it's, we recognize that not every kid is going to go to, Savannah College of Art and Design and learn how to use Adobe Illustrator, but we still want to empower them with the skills to be able to make things look really nice. And you never know, like excavate some gifts and empower the world, because that's our mission here in Nelson County Schools. And we are just so excited to be able to continue this conversation, build resources for our students, for our staff, for our community, and give our families what they need to know. And I am so grateful that we got to have this conversation this morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone out there watching in YouTube land. If you have not made the energybackpack.com a favorite, do that, because there's tons of stuff. We're constantly adding things to that for our schools and our staff members and our students to become creators. So happy Friday, Nelson County. Watch that email and text message. We'll be hollering at you later, say 4:30 or so. So you all have a good day.